Matthew's main purpose in writing his gospel. The good news is to prove to his Jewish readers that Jesus is their Messiah. He does this primarily by showing how Jesus, in his life and ministry, fulfilled the Old Testament scriptures. Mark's gospel. The good news is traditionally associated with Rome. It may have been occasioned by the persecutions of the Roman Church in the period C. Luke's gospel. The good news was written to strengthen the faith of all believers and to answer the attacks of unbelievers. It was presented to debunk some disconnected and ill-founded reports about Jesus. Luke wanted to show that the place of the Gentile non-Christian in God's kingdom is based on the teaching of Jesus. John's gospel, the good news, is rather different from the other three, highlighting events not detailed in the others. The author himself states his main purpose clearly in 20:31, that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. The book of Acts provides a bridge for the writings of the New Testament. As a second volume to Luke's gospel, it joins what Jesus began to do and to teach as told in the Gospels with what he continued to do and teach through the apostles. Preaching and the establishment of the church. Paul's primary theme in Romans is presenting the gospel, the good news, God's plan of salvation and righteousness for all humankind, Jew and non-Jew alike. The first letter to the Corinthians revolves around the theme of problems in Christian conduct in the church. It thus has to do with progressive sanctification, the continuing development of a holy character. Obviously, Paul was personally concerned with the Corinthians' problems, revealing a true pastor's shepherd's heart. Because of the occasion that prompted this letter, Paul had a number of purposes in mind to express the comfort and joy Paul felt because the Corinthians had responded favorably to his painful letter, to let them know about the trouble he went through in the province of Asia, and to explain to them the true nature, its joys, sufferings, and rewards, and high calling of Christian ministry. Galatians stands as an eloquent and vigorous apologetic for the essential New Testament truth that people are justified by faith in Jesus Christ, by nothing less and nothing more, and that they are sanctified not by legalistic works, but by the obedience that comes from faith in God's work for them. Unlike several of the other letters, Paul wrote, Ephesians does not address any particular error or heresy. Paul wrote to expand the horizons of his readers so that they might understand better the dimensions of God as eternal purpose and grace, and come to appreciate the high goals God has for the church.